Fewer people in Singapore faced workplace discrimination in 2021 compared to 3 years ago. The Manpower Ministry says the better showing in its survey of 3,000 people comes from more efforts to debunk stereotypes. 8% of employees said they face discrimination at work. That's much less than the 24% in the last round. Top factors for discrimination at work were age, pregnancy and mental health conditions. And incidents typically involved career development, salary and promotion. Meanwhile, about 1 in 2 say their firms set processes to handle staff complaints. It's an over 4 percentage point increase from 2018. Still, only a fifth sought help, as most were worried that this could affect their careers. Job seekers also faced less discrimination, only 25% versus around 43% previously. Age remains the #1 factor, and this showed itself mostly in job advertisements. The survey findings will shape recommendations for a workplace anti-discrimination law out this year.
As we look at enshrining the guidelines into legislation, what we don't want to do is to end up with a litigious workplace culture. And therefore, even in the midst of trying to enshrine some of these guidelines into law, we want to make sure that mediation continues to be at the forefront.
At least one social enterprise says new work arrangements during the pandemic could be a lifeline for groups of workers, such as mothers facing discrimination. Other analysts say companies should put in place policies to quell discrimination, and these should educate all staff and not just managers. Nurong Wei has more.
Working from home during the pandemic could be helping to cut down more on job discrimination. One social enterprise says it especially benefits working mothers and gives a sustainable longer-term option to employ them.
Just by the sheer number of flexible work arrangements that have been listed on our portal, the more employers come forward and say, I want to talk to returning moms now, more employers coming forward and say, hey, now I can work with you because flexible work arrangements is doable, right?
Ms. Tori says it's not just mums but older workers who could get a shot at finding work this way. She's hopeful that more firms will adopt such arrangements over the next 3 years. Meanwhile, analysts add that support schemes like the Jobs Growth Incentive have been encouraging employers to take in older workers aged 40 and above. But beyond this, the Singapore Human Resource Institute says companies must also put in place inclusive workplace policies that change mindsets.
Nobody wants to work in a toxic environment, right? And it's all about creating that mutual benefit for every employee, right, to excel in their own area of work. Right. And I don't think it's just about a policy. I think it also goes down to line managers, fellow colleagues, and educating them, all right, creating their awareness.
Mr. Goh adds, with a global manpower crunch, firms should look beyond what he calls just physical characteristics when hiring.